Norwegian culture is very different from American culture. I remember first walking there and looking around and noticing that people weren't generally looking at me in the eyes like they normally did. And I've heard that about Scandinavians in general. They don't generally look at you in the eyes. And so I was taken aback by that at first. But I realized it's because they have a very high level of respect for themselves and for one another. And so to look at someone else in the eyes is kind of a way of treading on their ground as to, this is my place, this is your place, and we both have our places. And so learning to adapt to that was interesting, because I'm an American boy. I love talking with people, being with people, and so I try to be as friendly as I possibly could. But generally in their culture, you don't go out of your way and talk to a random stranger. I remember very frequently talking to someone on the street and being very pleasant with them, and they would say, "Do I know you?" No, I'm a complete stranger, but we go around talking to people, seeing how their lives are going, and want to share a message with them. And they generally receive us very well if we were very kind and very pleasant in our way of approaching them. Their work lifestyle is fairly relaxed, and so they take advantage of their vacations quite a bit, which is great, but can be a detriment sometimes when we're trying to visit with people during the summer. They would say, "Oh, we'll be gone for the next 3 to 6 weeks down in Spain or in Croatia," or and I would be so surprised that they could still live their lifestyle and be gone for 3 to 6 weeks. But they'd go with their families and just have the best time of their lives wherever they were. Norwegians value honesty very highly, and respect of one another, which I found very refreshing. Whenever I would talk to a Norwegian about the gospel, they would generally tell me right then and there whether they were or were not interested. And if they were not interested, that'd be it. We were done with that conversation. We wouldn't be able to continue to press that. They were done with it. However, if they were interested, they would talk to you for hours about the gospel and about their personal experiences with God. And I found that very refreshing, because they're true to their word, and they don't tell you one thing and then mean another thing. They tell you how it is, and I very much appreciated that about their culture. Again, they strongly value peace, nonviolence, and being a very peaceful people. So much so that they have no guns allowed in the whole country. Even the policemen have to call their authorities in order to unlock their guns in their cars to use them for whatever reason. When it comes to holidays and traditions, the biggest holidays in Norway are Easter and Christmas. And New Year's is pretty big too. If you think of an American 4th of July, that is a Norwegian New Year's. I can remember trying to go to bed on a New Year's night, and the fireworks would be going constantly for hours and hours and hours. Luckily I had earplugs so I could sleep through it, but it'd bring back memories of 4th of July. Their New Year's would. Easter, they typically celebrate Easter for a whole entire week. They have a week off of school and work to go to their hytte, which is their cabin up in the mountains, where they would go as a family and go skiing and hiking and enjoy the sun that had just come up after the long dark winter. And they would normally have these candy bars during that time called Kvikk, and they are the closest thing I can compare it to is an American Kit Kat bar. And whenever you open them, on the inside of the wrapper, they have hikes. And so you could explore the different hikes that they were telling you about in Norway. So as missionaries, we would sometimes collect them and say, all right, when we get into this area, we're going to go on this hike and go explore it. Another thing they would eat during Easter time would be a soda called solo. and it's like an orange soda. I didn't like it very much personally, but everyone else loved it. Now, Christmas is a very big deal there as well. They celebrate 2 days before Christmas, the day before Christmas, which is the big one, the day of Christmas, and then between Christmas and New Year's, all of this time is set apart for celebration. And so the 23rd of December is called Lille Julaften. Oh, nope, my mistake. That's not it. Lille Julaften. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, the 23rd of December is called Lille Julaften, which means Little Christmas Eve. And then Julaften is the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, and that is where the big celebration happens. And then Juledagen is the 25th. And so how Norwegians would generally celebrate their Christmas would be on the 24th, the big day. They would have a meal where lots of meat, dried, salty meat, and you would gather around the Christmas table, and you would be dressed in your very, very best. Men would wear a suit coat and a tie and a white shirt, and women would wear a very nice dress, generally old-fashioned, the traditional old-fashioned style of Norwegian dress, and is interesting experiencing a Christmas with a family that dressed up really nicely for their Christmas traditions.